Hey, everybody. We just thought we'd start a little early. Welcome to another question and answer. So it's been a crazy busy day today, and we just came back from Patrick is in-house with Michaela, so that's good news. There he is there. Michaela's hiding over there somewhere. And we've had quite so we took a little break there, a little vacation out to the Midwest, and what a beautiful, you guys have never been there.
We've been back for a week.
We've been back for a week, but I'm still reeling from it. I can't believe that I was even there at Mount Rushmore and the Badlands and Yellowstone. It's unbelievable out there, the wildlife and the Native American elements out there were unbelievable. The artistry, the colors, all different from where we are here in New England. But we had a great time. But coming back, of course, when you have a small business, for all you guys who know, I keep telling my son, it's like having an infant, and you have to care for that infant every day. And being away, we were working remotely, and that's actually part of what we were doing, wasn't it, Patrick? Was to see how well we worked remotely, so that if someday we take our show on the road, that would be fun. And I think we pretty much.
Speaking of our show, it's been very boring lately. We've been doing much on YouTube. We apologize for that.
Yeah, and we're setting up now. And I guess that's what I wanted to announce first.
Why we've been.
We were doing everything here. We're running, a fabric store, a custom upholstery store, a school. We were running, what else, Patrick? The YouTube videos, both online classes and the YouTube videos. And what else? I mean, it was a high traffic area, so we could never really set up the studio the way we want. I mean, in New England, if you guys know, hello, SG says hello. You know that it's very expensive. Retail space and also residential is very expensive. So we finally found a great little clean place, beautifully clean place. It's air conditioned, which is really important, climate controlled. So that means that we can fix the cameras, right, Patrick? Right. Fix the lighting, fix the cameras. I mean, what you didn't see on the online classes is every time before and after we have to clean up or refit the shop. It was really crazy. So we're really looking forward to an even better product coming up. And I think we had a good product, Patrick. I'm not saying that wasn't, but I think that with all those other things, having a separate location just for that is going to be a golden, I think, right?
It's so much easier.
Yeah. So it's the room is configured where at the end of the room, there's no, the only door going in is in the front of the room. The end of the room is going to be the studio. So that means that nobody can be walking by. Nobody can be dropping a slip seat hair or a piece of fabric hair or a cotton ball hair or horse hair. Jimmy can't come in with his horse hair and put it over here, So we're looking forward to that. And so we're committed to, we're really to all our YouTube fans. We're going to get back to that. I enjoy doing it. We've been negligent, haven't we?
Jimmy already has 2 projects lined up for classes.
Jimmy, yeah, and I think Jimmy is a great asset. I think that he's the right. What's that?
The settee. That's coming up.
Oh, right. Oh, wait a minute. You haven't even posted that yet.
No, because we've been so busy.
The settee that we
just finished. Congratulations to Jimmy for finishing that.
Jimmy finished
the craft chair. No, which one was it?
The
carved mahogany chair.
He finished that.
No, his class just ended. So people are just seeing that now. So he did a great job on that.
Right, he did. And that settee was a lot longer, wasn't it? It was like twice as long.
Well, that one's coming up soon, close to the end of the summer. I'm looking forward to getting that up there. A lot of people asking about his settee.
And we hope that Michelle comes back. We're not sure what the new location, if she can, but hopefully if she's looking, she can get a hold of us. I have to get a hold of her anyhow just to talk to her, see how things are going.
Bernice has a class.
Bernice has a class coming up or already up, Patrick?
Coming out. Hers is next.
So I think there's a lot going on here, you guys. And I'm sure that you guys will appreciate the work and the effort that's put into this, but a better product coming your way.
Shop's reopened.
So that's we're thinking, we're anticipating that for the new, like the question and answer would be maybe 6/21, Patrick, June 21st.
Yeah, we should mention after next week. Next week will still be Thursday.
Next week will be Thursday. We'll have one more. We'll have a question and answer, and then after that, Mondays.
Always on Mondays.
We're trying to keep
a whole day aside just for studio work, filming classes,
filming YouTube classes and online classes,
and YouTube videos.
So all day long we'll be doing that.
On Mondays are our new day. Thursday, It was tough doing that towards that's technically the end of the week. but still, Thursdays are busy days. So I think Mondays, we established what's best for that.
All right. Well, it's good to have Patrick and Michaela back in the studio. And
even though I don't have all the equipment set up.
And you're not going to get the graphics today again. Sorry, guys. But hopefully I'll be able to.
621, hopefully.
Last week I was holding up the forum on here and showing you different things. But Patrick actually printed it out, so I don't have to do that, do I, Patrick?
Next week I'll be working on getting all the equipment set back up so we can get back to the old way we were doing it.
So I guess I wanted to talk about what Patrick and I did today. We're just coming back from a delivery, 3 flights of stairs with the sofa bed. And boy, sometimes, guys, you get stuck with the job. I mean, the customer was perfect. No complaints about the customer. And I took the job knowing that it was a 3rd flight of an old sofa bed. And if you guys know sofa beds, you know what that means. That means about 3 times heavier than the new ones, which are made out of metal that is lightweight, whereas the old ones were made out of, I think, cast iron, and they're heavy. Even though you take the mattress out, they're still heavy. And I had all kinds of problems with this sofa bed. Some of these sofa beds, you should be warned, you guys, are put in with, they're forced in. They're actually compacted and then put into the frame. So that's not many. The old ones were done that way. This one was one of those. I really had a hard time with it. I finally ended up it came out great. And I did what we call a slipcover / upholstery job. I'll explain that someday. But I couldn't take that mechanism out because I would have never got it back. And I had to fix the mechanism, but then it did come to me broken too. So I bet Blair would appreciate this. So sometimes, you give a price on a job and you spend 2 or 3 times more working on it. I never, for all those guys and girls out there who are interested in opening up their own shop or have their own shop or want some advice, I've never called a client. I've never picked up the phone and say, this was harder than I thought it was, so I'm going to have to charge you more. I've never done that. I just think from a public, just to keep things, a goodwill thing going, I wouldn't advise you to do that either, because you're going to have some jobs. I really feel it evens out. I have some jobs that didn't take as long as I thought. So those jobs you hope fill in with the ones that, like this one, that took longer. But I don't think it's fair to give an estimate, especially since I saw it in person, and then come back and say, I didn't know it was that broken, or this was problems I ran into. It's okay to tell your client that because it took longer. I had to be honest with her and tell her. But to charge for that, that's not good. So I don't do that. So, of course, you guys could do anything you want, but that's how I do business. And that's why, I'll be honest, I think, Patrick, what do we got on Yelp for reviews?
5 star.
5 stars, which, let me tell you, that
someone called today and they called us because of that.
Yeah, people say, how much do you pay for that? You pay for it with hard work and customer service. Yelp is a very honest algorithms, they call it, Patrick.
They use something.
They don't tell everybody what they do or how they do it. But
there's some of these reviews, so it has to meet a certain
criteria, and they know the key words that are used. Like if all your friends get on there and give you a review, they know that they're your friend. Right. So they know that. They know you, and they get to know, here's the kind of the scary part too, Patrick. They get to know, in a good way, they get to know your business. So when you, I do advertise with Yelp, it has nothing to do with the star rating. As I remembered one time I increased the ad, I increased paying them a little bit, and then I lost a half a star. It was just a coincidence that I lost a half a star, but I was wondering about it. I called them. I said, I'm giving you more money, and I got 4.5 now. What happened? Had nothing to do with the increase in money, which is weird, but it really is. You live and die by your word. So I guess that's why I'm mentioning this job that I just did. I mean, I really try to keep my word and even go above that. And I think it's rewarded. One good review on Yelp, you guys, especially if you're just starting, goes a long way. It'll be with you forever. A bad review will be with you forever too. But the idea is that you don't want too many of those. And nobody's perfect. I got a bad review on there. I got 1 star.
That was about something to do with the class.
I know,
that wasn't your work.
I know, but so you can't. In a way, the 1 star actually count as a lot of the 5 stars. In a way, that's they were trying to explain that that was a good thing, having a 1-star. I never could see that though, Patrick.
Yeah.
But anyhow, you're only human. So SG's still saying hello, and I'm sorry. Why did we start early today, Patrick? Because we're tired because we lifted that sofa bed.
Oh, you were in a rush.
And you got a flat tire. We went out to South Dakota. I just wanted to quickly mention this. We had 26 hours of driving each way, right? 52 hours, Patrick, of driving, right?
Yeah.
And once we got out there after the Massachusetts border, we saw deer, we saw bison, we saw long-haired goats, we saw long-haired hippies.
Longhorn.
We saw longhorn. What else did we see? We saw all kinds of wildlife, And so that's 26 hours, and then 24 hours back. And what happens? Patrick hits a deer on the Mass Pike.
In Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts. And I see 2 bad accidents right when we get in the States.
Yeah, it's cursed or something like
no,
that.
I don't know. It's just crazy. So all you Massachusetts drivers, chill out, because we went
And deer too. Tell the deer to chill out.
Well, the deer don't seem to be too bright in this state.
That's true.
I actually hit 3 deer once. Good thing I was going at a low speed. But I was on a local road near my house, and I was going down about 30. 3 deer came out right in front of me, and one was, and it was raining. I hit the first one, not hard, but enough to knock him over, and he slid along the road, and there were 2, one next to me on the left, and one, all I saw was brown around me, just brown. It was the whole windshield and the side were covered with brown. And they were deer, but they all scooted away. They were okay. I don't know if your deer was as lucky, Patrick.
Oh, we don't know.
Because he was going 70 when he hit his deer. You were lucky.
Look at hit it.
More like the deer hit us.
It was more like the deer hit you. See, that's what I mean. The deer out in the other parts of the country seem a little brighter than that.
They do. For sure.
Maybe because of their red noses, Patrick.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. Well, let's get to some business. And
no Jimmy today.
So SG has a good comment about me talking about reviews, and she says reviews rule everything now, Kevin. In the old days, we started up, and I'm qualified for the old days. I don't think Patrick would believe what you had to do as a small business owner. When I worked almost 45 years, I started with an upholsterer in Newton, Massachusetts. Nice guy, nice man. Monty was his name. One of my mentors, and he would have to do all the stuff that we do. We take for granted the social media. It is mostly good. I mean, I know there's some bad aspects to it too, like a bad review. But so he had to do yellow pages. Well, first of all, you need a landline. Do you know that we have a landline here at the shop, but we've never plugged it in? I think Patrick's working on plugging it in.
I don't know if it's even worth doing.
But we've had it for like 10 years. And once in a while, an older customer would say, "I can never get through to you." I said, "What number are you calling?"
Yeah, I remember that.
And she's calling a landline, which I don't even know how she got the phone number, because it's just used for the billing. So we do everything on the cell phone because of the texting. Texting is wonderful. It saves us a lot of time. By the way, that's another thing I would do if I were in business. You guys are just starting out. Give you my little secrets. If you're able to look at a job with the picture and give an estimate for yardage, you should be able to do this, especially if you've seen some of the videos, the YouTube videos where I talk about how to do yardages and pricing. That is your first kind of, if you're looking at it as an obstacle course, right? That's your first hurdle with a customer to see if they're serious. I would say that 50% or more of the inquiries I get, and then I give an estimate over the phone with the text, they don't even go anywhere for one reason or another. So back when I first started, every single lead that you got that came into the shop via the phone with your little notepad, your name, Mrs. Smith, your address, and here's when we could come out. You would be going out every single time. Can you imagine how much of a waste of time that is? Because the success rate was the same. So you get 50% of those, and you spend at least, I would say you're spending back then with travel time and everything, it's 2 hours, even local. You're spending 2 hours, half hour maybe or so to go out. You're in the house for an hour, and then another half hour coming back. An enormous amount of a waste of time. Whereas the text, it's something like this. Mrs. Jones calls, hello, Upholstery on Broadway. Yeah, I have a sofa I'd like an estimate for. Great, I'd love to be able to help you. Could you please send a text with the photo? And then they'll say something like, well, I really want to come in with it. I said, yeah, but what you really want me to do is see it first just to make sure the pricing's okay for you, because you'd be surprised how many people don't know anything about pricing. And that's where you probably lose about half of the people. And if I weren't as busy, I might have to do other things for all you guys just starting out. And if you're just starting out, every lead is important. So you may want to carry on the conversation, like saying, well, we're running a sale on fabric where you can get 10% off this week. That's if you're in a situation where the economy takes a downturn or something and you feel like you need to get almost every job or get a better chance of getting jobs. So there's those little things that go on. But today with the text, or the texting and everything, you're probably spending between the phone call you get and then you're looking at the text and then you're sending it out, that initial contact, you're only looking at about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. And that's amazing when you think about it. That gives you more time on your bench, and that's what your goal is. If you're the upholsterer, and in my case, I'm the upholsterer here, anytime I'm away from that bench, even on a text message, is away from the bench. That's where you're making your money. So hopefully that's helpful to you. So SG says, yes, I'm finding that out. Cheapskates in Turkey. Turquoise? Where's that, Kevin? So, you're wherever you are, SG, and I'm not sure where you are, but that goes for anybody. You're acclimating, you're adjusting to the local economy and the local norms. And sometimes what you have to do, and I've done this at various points in my career, is become more than just an upholsterer. So here's a little tip. You have to create, your own press sometimes. I'm talking about like normal, what they call mainstream press. So some of the things that I've done, like when I first came here to Arlington, which is right outside of Boston, which is there's a pretty big population around here. I called the local paper and said, hey, I'm going to be coming in. I'm going to be opening up my own shop. And, the local paper usually are very receptive to new businesses coming into a community, because that's important for a community. So they'll come out and do a story on your new shop and what your future might look like and where your past has been. And those stories, Patrick, as you know, they stay around forever. Yeah. So you could still Google, you Google that now,
videos,
and you're still in there, right? Somewhere there's an 8-track tape of me 40 years ago, you guys. If you find it, we'd like to see it, right?
Well, that's a little hard. I mean, these videos will be around forever.
So we did
get lost.
UK, south of England, right down the bottom left of the UK, pronounced Torquay, right? Oh yeah, that's right, SG. South of England. We've got relatives in Yorkshire, in York, and I went over there and I actually met an upholsterer in Yorkshire. I went into a shop and I got a picture. Do we have that picture, Patrick, of me in that English upholsterer?
I have it.
So we were talking. Actually, my sister-in-law, who lives in the community, actually used him a few times over there. I couldn't go over there to do that. That would not be cost effective. So SG, probably, did SG tell us that, Patrick, SG a girl or a boy?
This is a girl.
Did she tell us that she was in business before? I'd like to know if she is.
I'm pretty sure.
She's in business. Well, in England, I noticed that in England, it's the price points around. When my sister-in-law, she was talking to me a little bit about, she was getting a really good deal on her furniture. I think because she's not in London. I think London prices would be probably more comparable to what we get here outside of Boston. But I'm not the most expensive. I think a lot of it has to do with experience. A lot of it has to do with your social reach.
Right. Here's a picture of you with the guy.
Oh, you got it. That's the English guy. Do you remember his name?
No. Hopefully he's all right with being on YouTube.
How did you find that?
I get on my phone.
I was talking about.
He's a nice guy, though.
Yeah, he was really genuine and let us come in and take the picture. So that was nice. So I think he's the same upholsterer that did Auntie Maureen's stuff, Patrick.
Is he really?
Yeah.
They were that close to him?
Yeah. Okay, so I was on a train of thought there. Yeah, so the social media today, everybody can be can reach more people today, right, Patrick? But just reaching more people isn't enough, right? You still need you generate interest in a new business. You try to find ways. you're trying to be honest, but let me I'll give you an example. When I moved, when that interviewer came in 10 years ago to interview us for this, I was talking about some of the past projects. They're not going to ask you. You just have to offer this. And we did the Napoleon chair. I did the Napoleon chair, his actual chair in one of my shops that I worked in. So things like that, little tidbits like that, where you're attaching yourself to, I know it sounds a little showmanship, but hey, listen, we're trying to survive, right? We're trying to get business. So you do anything you can. I don't think it's a bad thing to say, I did the Napoleon chair, Napoleon's own chair. I thought that was good. Things like that. And there's so many other things that you can do. You can volunteer in your community, Patrick. That reminds me, we used to do every year, we used to pick one nonprofit to donate upholstery to or donate materials to. And we haven't done that because of the pandemic. Nobody wanted fabric or nobody wanted you in. So, Patrick, that should be on one of our radar at some point, some type of volunteer work. So we actually, on one of the websites, do we have the website still have that up there?
It has community stuff.
We need to focus a little bit more on that.
Website. You should mention that. It reminds me that
what
everybody's online classes can now be found. I'll post a thing.
Okay. So
everyone's online class. I'll throw it there real quick. Everybody, all the students, all the classes can now be found at upholsteryonbroadway.com. But if you type in the old address of the supply, it'll take you to the same place.
Okay.
Just in case anyone's confused.
SG says, I'm a girl. Sorry, SG, because those little pictures that next to you are messaging, my eyesight, I can't tell sometimes. My son has really long hair. And I probably would mistake him for a girl.
Excuse me.
If he was in there.
Michaela would agree.
I'm sorry. She says, I'm a girl, yes, doing small bits of upholstery and upcycling furniture. London prices are expensive, yeah. I imagine they would be. Just the traveling in and out of London, I mean, it's probably like New York City. So that covers that. With I guess it's interesting how business has changed. I never thought as an upholsterer, we're doing, when you think about it, you guys, our trade's hundreds of years old. And a lot of the techniques that I showcase and I'll post in the YouTubes and online are the old methods. And I never, I think before my son started pointing things out to me, I never thought that I would need social media. But boy, am I mistaken, because the people in my age group who didn't use social media or didn't know how, they just got left in the dust. And it doesn't matter how good of an upholsterer they were. I think that's a shame, that part of it, isn't it, Patrick? But I'm glad that Patrick and Michaela are here to be able to fill in the gaps, which are big gaps, right? Like the Grand Canyon with the IT stuff.
Badland.
But we all make a good team here, filling in each other's gaps. That's what a team does, right? So let's get to some of these interesting questions on YouTube. I'm surprised there's not more, Patrick.
Well, we haven't been doing much on there, so there's nothing really for anybody to comment on.
Yeah.
We'll get back to it. We just finished the womb chair series there.
Oh, right.
So we're going to start another series.
I think I mentioned that Michaela can tell you I was a madman in that video because I think I even said it while I was doing it. I'm tripping over the hose and everything else. And I wasn't picking the hose up because I was so focused on that stupid chair. They're always panicky, those chairs. You look at it and say, I can't do this. It's just impossible. But then you get going on it, and then all the little, skills come out that you're remembering. See, what happens with experience is that you forget a lot of the things that you had been taught or that you had gone through before, but it's still in there and it comes out. So there's a little bit of an anxiety, but then all of a sudden the skill comes out. There used to be a cartoon. These guys wouldn't know it. It was a cat, and he had his bag full of tricks. Tricks the cat, I think his name was, Patrick. It's interesting he was a cat, right, guys? Cats are our best friends. But he had in his bag, he used to, whatever problem he had, he'd reach in the bag and the trick would fix the problem. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. If Jimmy was there, he would know. Jimmy's not coming today, I don't think, unless he surprises us. But anyhow, so when you're doing something, you fall back on some of the skills that you've learned. Some of the muscle memory comes back, and actually, it's what makes you a good teacher to be able to teach that stuff. So that's why I always mention the YouTube. I'll mention it again. I think it's worth mentioning. When I'm teaching on YouTube, sometimes it's just muscle memory and I'm not verbalizing what I'm doing very well. And I admit that. And I think that that's true with most YouTube videos when you're just one-on-one with the camera and you, right? But with the online classes, really the benefit of the online classes is Jimmy and Michelle, not Bernice, because she's in a different role. But it's them asking the questions, especially Jimmy. Jimmy's very inquisitive, and don't ever be afraid to ask a question with me. But when I was learning, it was a little different. You couldn't ask the same question twice, let me tell you that. Or even you had to limit your questioning and just actually observe a little bit more. But with Jimmy, because the whole thing is that you, who are purchasing the online classes, are wanting to know everything, even the small details. And if you're advanced and you don't need that, turn the volume down. Somebody said, he talks too much.
I'm sure some people do, and they probably play their music in the background.
Just turn the volume down and just watch me work. It's fine. And then sometimes, we've had a couple of videos up there. I said to Patrick, we've not taken one video down, have we, Patrick? Have we?
Maybe one.
The quality of the
they were outdated because we only took it down because they were only applied to that point in time.
Right.
You know what I mean? There were things that were like maybe updates. But none of the tutorials have ever been taken down.
I remember, though, in a couple of them that I was struggling. We didn't take these ones down.
None of the ones that you were doing projects we took down. Those were so long.
But some of the ones, we could edit the heck out of these classes and make me look like a superhero, right, Patrick? And I never knew this about. There's this cooking. Who was that woman that was the cook, the famous cook, the chef, the chef on Channel 2? Remember the chef? She was Boston chef. What was her name? The gourmet chef. And when you're watching her, she's preparing this souffle or whatever she's doing, or a cake, whatever, and she goes from A to Z flawlessly. Right. Well, I didn't know she had like 4 different ovens, and they were all in different stages, Michaela. And if one went flat, she'd pump it up while the camera was on. She'd do something, but it looked like just one fluid motion. I have to admit, hello, Gabriel. I have to admit that I struggled in some of those, not expecting to be struggling. And there was one in particular that I remember that we got a negative comment, which was funny. It said that this guy's a hack. Don't look at him.
Another upholsterer.
Another upholsterer. I said, what is another upholsterer watching these for? But I asked Patrick, should we take it down? He said, absolutely not. Keep it up there. And I think he made the right decision. Because some of the older ones with the shaky video, Patrick, when you were first starting, and the equipment wasn't that great, it's still up there. And one of them, that 8-way tie spring, is still a very popular video. So, and
we even redid it, but the old one has.
The old one is
still more popular.
It's timeless, really. So Gabriel says, I've been following some English upholstery. I have been following some English upholstery. Oh, Gabriel's cheating on us. She's going through an English.
Encourage that. Are you kidding? I'm sure you encourage that.
Oh, I'm just kidding. Hey, the more the merrier, I say.
Everyone has their own different, styles you can follow.
SG says that sounds interesting, and it's true. When I was teaching, I had 12 people teaching at once at various points how to tie springs, for instance. And somebody was tying a knot backwards because they were left-handed. I didn't go and say, you need to do that a different way. Upholstery, that's what I like about upholstery. It's not like some trades like plumbing. This is what you have to do. This goes here, this goes here, this goes here, and you don't have a leak. And upholstery is not like that, really. So you could find, I used to say, they'd be finished with their project and say, this doesn't look like your project. And I said, well, having the knot on the other side of the spring is your signature. So 100 years from now, archaeologists will dig up your chair and say, that's an original Gabriel, or an original SG, or an original Patrick, or an original McKeel, or original Jimmy. And I encourage people to sign their work, sign inside on the muslin, if you want muslin, and also on the frame of the chair, whatever you want to do. Because a lot of times we don't see signatures. It'd be nice to know. who upholstered a piece 100 years ago.
You found that once.
Gabriel says, then I tried to watch French. I can only watch since I don't speak French. That's interesting. Well, I could tell you something. If you've watched French upholsterers, I can tell you, it's like watching a French chef. The French are unusual in the upholstery world. They do as much work underneath the cover. And the stitching that they do is exquisite underneath the cover. I'm talking about the older French pieces that I've taken apart. And nobody would see it, you know. They weren't doing YouTube videos back then, and the customer certainly, once the fabric is on, is not going to see it. But they took such pride in their work. You can see that with the stitching that they do. And she says, yes, very distinct, Gabriel says. I'm kind of following along here. So, but before I lose a little bit more time, I should get to some of the YouTube.
And Gabrielle has a few very good submissions from the Facebook.
Yeah,
I can't
can't
start
wait.
with her. She's already there.
Oh, yeah, Gabrielle. We might as well start with Gabrielle because
Good,
that's a good idea, Patrick. See, this is the
and
advantage
she was
of...
on there, and I felt back. I never even mentioned that we were having one today. I might have done it. We're still kind of in a really weird schedule with the Q&A.
Yeah, it's really...
And I'm sure that everyone's getting sick of the webcam, and we'll get the good camera back.
Believe it takes a while to finally get settled because, you know, in reality, what Patrick has done is create his own. We're creating our own television studio. We did it here with all this stuff going along, and Patrick was forever complaining to me. I was getting
the real excuse. Well, the
tired.
mentioned that everything was the governor announced that the reopening a few weeks ago, and that was just out of nowhere, wasn't it? There.
Yeah, but I'm talking about how you've.
Oh, I'm just saying that got in the way of our filming, and we had to
Right.
get the business back fully open. Now everyone can walk in and again. And
But I think
that's been kind of holding us up.
Yeah.
No excuse.
but I think like what you've done with all the things that are going on here with developing a studio.
No,
I mean,
that'll help a lot.
25 years ago, Patrick, you'd have to go to Channel 4 to do what we do here. One of the local affiliates.
We
the
tried doing
network.
something like that. It wasn't.
Affiliate didn't work. We tried. We went to a
It was
place.
almost too good. It lost
Too
the home.
generic. Too generic.
It lost the home. We have that home, mom and pop.
The
feel.
homespun. I was watching a little bit of the Highwaymen today with you name them, Patrick. There's Chris Christopherson, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Cash,
Yeah.
Glenn Campbell,
No.
No?
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson, and the fourth one,
And Waylon Jennings.
Waylon Jennings. So I was watching one of the old tapes from Las Vegas from the Mirage, and the tape was the quality of the audio stunk, and it was really grainy, but you know it really fit the music, Patrick.
Yeah, I know.
So I didn't mind it so much.
Yeah.
So we went to the studio. We explored this a couple of times, Patrick.
Yeah, but like I said, it lost that touch.
There was too generic. It was too clean, and we're not going to do that with this.
No, it's just a better spot
It's a better
just
spot
for that because we don't have to worry about doing all these 10 million other things in one spot.
So we're hoping that what we've developed on the internet, well, I know you guys explore French and English upholsterers and all kinds of upholsterers out there. I know that. I hope that what we have here is unique, and because if you ever knew how much work goes into this, the editing, behind the scenes, some of you know Patrick and Michaela, the editing that goes into these to make them look like this. I don't think I could have the patience, and I'm known for being patient, right, Patrick? But I don't think I would have the patience.
That's why Jimmy's settee class is going to be. We put a lot of work into that. We want to make sure it's right before we release it. Sure, we have the video, we have it taped. We could put it up tomorrow, but it would not be.
No, and you fill it
There's
in.
a bunch of swears in there. I got to edit out from Jimmy.
And when he hits his finger here and there, and when he found a mice, oh, that was me. But I think for every hour of video that you guys see, would you say there's an hour of editing, you guys?
Michaela.
Would you say an hour of editing, at least? Maybe something like that. I'm just guessing.
Michaela does the boring stuff. All I do is put the.
But
fun stuff and the music.
That boring stuff is not easy to do. Hey, before I forget, you guys, over my right shoulder, you're looking left, is a beautiful settee that back here. Look at that. It's got a beautiful French trim that I just did. It's got buttons, not tufted. They're just surface buttons that the customer wanted to keep. I think she made the right decision. This looks beautiful, doesn't it? And then over here is a beautiful Victorian parlor chair, the ones I like. We have a video up, you guys probably have seen it, that 1860s chair that I made a comment in there. I know This is funny. It's worth mentioning again that, you know, the ladies with the hoop skirt would sit on this chair and you wouldn't even see the chair. And then somebody said, what does he know about hoop skirts? Does he wear them?
Maybe he did.
Should never assume. And then actually, Gabriel, this is going to help us. I think she's given us some information here. She said, I could never understand the French. I told you that. And English without understanding the basics. And Gabriel goes on. She said, a lot cut basic information. Is that cut basic information? To make quicker videos. A lot cut basic. I'm not sure what she means there, Patrick. Can you? Is that a comment to us, Gabriel, or to SG? I'm not sure. French, as she goes on, let me know. Okay, so let's go on to the YouTube. Oh, we're going to go on to Gabriel, actually, since we're talking to her. She's got this. I have to hold this up, right, Patrick?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I have a comment about this, and I'm sure she found out. She says, sort of simple seat, right? Simple, not so simple, actually. I pin tacked it, which is what we teach people, then had to pin tack it again, as it was too loose. The stripe pattern took some thought because the seat tapers. So she had a little bit of a problem with this. Stripe too, you can't stretch side to side like you would like to, or you can, but the side even requires a lot of pin tacking if you really want to get it as tight. You can't pull one side. If you pull one side too tight, the stripe goes off, right? And try upholstering this in a plaid, you guys. That would be really hard. Plaid is the hardest fabric to upholster with. Just to let you know, because you've stripe going both ways. That's why. But I think she did a terrific job. This looks to me like, Gabriel, this looks to me like a cut velvet, right? That looks like a cut velvet, which is a really pretty fabric. I don't see too many of these fabrics now. Used to have this in the old days, but that's a cut velvet, you guys. Cut velvet means that they just take the velvet out of the fabric to make patterns. So the whole thing isn't velvet. You just have some parts of the material without the velvet. You see the back of the fabric. That's what makes it. So this makes this, you know, when you want to feel this, and some of my customers have been blind over the years, and I remember this is a great fabric for them. They're always looking for fabric with texture in it. So this is a great textured fabric. So I guess that's what I wanted to say. Beautiful. She did a good job. See how straight those stripes are? You guys, not so easy, is it? And she had a non-uniform stripe, which also makes it a little hard, which you have to pick. When you have a non-uniform stripe like this, you kind of have to pick what your eye goes to, like as the center stripe. And I think she did a really good job picking that out also. So it's interesting. So let's go. Good job, Gabrielle. So she says a lot cut basic info to make quicker videos. Yes, cut out basic info. Yes. Okay. Is she talking about our videos, Patrick, I think?
Yeah.
So what do you say to people, Patrick? You say just, you know, for people like Gabriel, I know Gabriel's way far ahead of a lot of other people in her, you know, what she's doing. So she can, I think she's got a good point though. Should we make videos with more within the mind of more of an advanced student?
Well, I know there's other channels on YouTube where they don't do any talking at all. It's just simply, you know, watching the artist work, the upholsterer work, and you just watch the whole project A to Z. Like, this guy doesn't stop and explain what he's doing. He just kind of shows his work off. It's like an artist, a painter drawing. You see the whole drawing happen. So a lot of people do it like that. You know
so what do you think is better? I mean, if you're trying to appeal, if you're trying to appeal to everybody,
yeah.
If you're talking a lot, like I said, you could turn the volume down.
Yeah, different type of video. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. You get enough stuff in where you finish it quick enough to where I get to set up a camera and have it film you working on it. And that's
Would you guys like that? I mean, did you hear
see the finished product? A very complicated piece.
Oh, she says, Gabriel says, if we do this, we need to label what level, you know. So you'd have like maybe 3 levels. You'd have beginner, journeyman, and pro.
I mean, I could put a thing up saying, "Oh, this is an A to Z," but then people might expect that to be, "Oh, you talking through you talking them through an A to Z, not just you working on an A to Z.
Well, so I see one video where it's an overhead and you just see the guy's hands working.
Right. It's not like that.
Do you think that we could do something like that?
Yeah, I think you could do stuff like that with pieces that are just you trying to get out the door quickly.
I have to say, I could do it, but it would be hard for me not to open my fat mouth, to be honest with you.
Speed the whole thing up.
Because when I was working with 12 people and, you're doing these adult ed classes, you get people who are repeating, and then you get people who are just starting. So you had to adjust to each person, certainly, but there was a lot of gabbing going on. And some people come in, it wouldn't be Gabrielle, but some people come in and they don't even know how to pick up a hammer, and you have to actually show them on the hammers that we have. There is a way of holding the hammer. They're not like, they might have picked up a claw hammer, but not a tack hammer, an upholsterer's tack hammer. So you're really literally starting with the basics of tools before you get into any upholstery. And I know that if you're watching, if you're advanced, that's probably very boring to watch or silly in some ways. I can see that. So on the online classes, I don't know how other way to present the online classes, because we're working with people at best who are early journeymen.
It has to apply to everybody. That's the thing.
I think
we try to do. I mean,
right. I think the journeyman, like, we have different levels. Jimmy's actually think about Jimmy's classes, you guys, if you're watching them. He's actually advancing as you're watching him. Have you noticed that, Patrick?
And I think if
he's getting better and better with each video that we make.
If you're watching that and you're advanced, I think you're watching it, for fun, just for entertainment. You know what I mean?
Do you think people watch them for entertainment? They wouldn't buy them for entertainment.
I think they would. It's fun just to see somebody do something from different.
Well, I could see looking at YouTube videos. SG says, "Sorry, I missed that. I was checking my order of staples that arrived today. My life is so riveting." I get it, riveting. Maybe she was talking to Gabriel was talking, but anyhow, I have another picture from Gabrielle that's kind of neat. This is really cool. Let me just show you. So she's got a before and after, and I think she's using her creative juices here. I haven't read it yet, but I want to read it. I love this. We have a friend that does these marketplaces every year. And, people set up booths and there are people there shopping for unique items. And I always said, I know Gabrielle has that type of customer or shopper. She's got them in her crosshairs with stuff like this. Because that chair, see that, Patrick?
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that chair would be spotted a mile away, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that would be bought up in about the first 5 minutes. Did you see that, Michaela?
Yeah.
That chair?
No,
this one.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool.
So let's see what she says here. Gabriel, you're being featured here. I used information from 2 sources, the Diamondback class. Oh, this is great. The Diamondback class and the dining room chair on YouTube. This is a busy month. At the end of June, I am having an open studio. I am trying to complete a number of pieces to show. I wouldn't mind advertising for you, Gabriel, if you want. You can put it up in the comment section. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Tell her to put it on the forum.
Put it on the forum. We don't mind. I mean, we do screen the forum for other upholsterers who are in there trying to get business, right?
Well, they're trying to sell,
But for our people, especially for people who've been up on the
students
forum,
can post anything they want.
Patrick says students could post anything they want just about. So
even if I wouldn't care if they wanted to try to sell their piece on. I don't know if you could do that on a group. I don't know how that would work. They want to sell it.
I don't think I think it's a good thing.
They learned it from us, so
right?
The whole thing.
I think it's a really good compliment, isn't it? I mean,
right.
So she sourced out. This is really good. 2 sources, both our sources, the Diamondback class and a dining room chair class on YouTube. So that's an example of both venues using both, Patrick, to advance your skills or to have ideas, which is perfect, right?
Yeah. Perfect
use of the Broadway upholstery school.
Yeah, you don't want to do all of them.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Gabriel, for being such a contributor to that. And how many? Last I looked, I think we have over 200 people on that forum, which is a pretty good forum, isn't it, Patrick?
It's gone up.
I don't know what the average is, Patrick. I have no idea. I just look at what does.
I've never had another forum before, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what is a lot of people on a forum. I don't know. I think it's a good thing. But there's another thing too. The YouTube channel. We have how many subscribers now, Patrick?
Almost 15,000.
Wow, almost 15,000. So keep that coming. And we're not posting sensational videos like upholsterer flies in the air with no mechanism,
No parachute.
or Kevin dives off a 500-foot ladder into a wading pool and survives.
I think the craziest thing we've ever done is stand in front of the geyser there at Yellowstone.
Yeah, if you guys saw that, we were at Yellowstone. I was safe distance away from that geyser, but.
I think that's where it stops for you, Dan.
That's it, but I guess the point is, anybody can go on YouTube and post a sensational video and make something up and get a lot of hits, right?
Well,
but with this station, because there's a lot of good content, I think, and it's it's upholstery, it's useful information, or hopefully for the most part. I'm more proud. I guess is what I'm trying to say is I'm more proud of having 15,000 subscribers than I would be if I was doing something stupid. And I don't think it's stupid, do you, Patrick?
Sometimes.
When we first started, I remember one video we did where it was a little hokey because we were just fooling around in the beginning. We didn't think it was going to turn into anything like this. But we had a pile of cushions. Is that still up, Patrick?
I don't know. I forget when that was even posted.
We had a pile of cushions next, and I had kind of like a string next to it, and I was talking and I was saying. And then in the end of the video, I pulled the string and all the cushions fell on me, right, Patrick?
Yeah.
That was stupid, but
I thought it was funny.
We didn't know. We didn't know in the beginning. That's why we don't want to take those down because somebody said, I think it was, I don't know if it was Gabriel. I want to say it was Janine, who she said they like to see the evolution of the station,
Right.
how it evolved. So that's good too. So now let's get to, that's it with the forum, right? And I want to encourage all you guys. Somebody called me direct at the shop here who was, I think, bought one of the online classes, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling them, please, they didn't know about the forum. A lot of times the online class people or the YouTube video don't know about the forum. So there are three ways to get us, right? Online classes, which we think is the best. Unfortunately, you have to pay for those. The YouTube channel, which we like, Broadway Upholstery School, right? And the third is the forum.
No, Facebook.
So the Facebook forum, which you're going to find 200 people on there who are going to be willing to help you with some of your problems.
Yeah.
And some people go into great detail. I think is Gabrielle the researcher. She really likes to research.
Well, she does good. I think it's good at what she does because it isn't only just for posting stuff for us to talk about in the Q&A. We want people to talk about to themselves and figure it out on their own,
right?
And talk to other people who are on there,
right?
Of course they can post stuff for you to talk about, but there's a lot of other people on there besides you that can help.
And we find that by the time I get to it, it's already been answered very
Jimmy
well.
Does a good job of doing
Jimmy
that.
does a really good job. Jimmy's got a great enthusiasm in it.
Jimmy does know a lot about upholstery. He knows more than me.
Well, Jimmy knows. First of all, he knows all the jingo, the lingo, right? He knows the language, which is really important. He knows some. I think Jimmy is an example of somebody that's in his journeyman years. He's 62 and he's in his journeyman years.
Yeah, at least he's doing it.
I respect Jimmy a lot for trying new things. Jimmy does a lot of stuff like that. He sews, he cooks, and he does upholstery, and he dances. So now let's get to the YouTube. Unless you guys have questions, I know that we started early. I'm not sure if there are any questions, but we are on our regular time. It's 4:22, Patrick.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a quick one anyway. We're inching back towards that, back to normal, getting the studio started.
Right. So we do have some YouTube comments. I always like to keep up with these. How do you bend a washer without any of the fancy tools? So that was for fixing a pop button with home tools.
Yeah, you have to bend the washer.
So you have to bend the washer. Some washers are heavier than others. I suppose I didn't say that in the video, see? You want a lightweight washer, first of all. If some are thick and you can't bend them. The lightweight washer, and take a pair of pliers and just get pliers in the grip. And
everybody has pliers.
Should be able to do it.
Fancy, yeah.
But what this person's probably got is a very thick washer that he or she can't bend. So you do need to bend it in order for it to work with the material when you push it through with those long needle noses. I just devised a way of doing it. I mean, the right way is with a German needle, which the other video features, which is on the online store, right, Patrick?
Yep.
that kit.
Yep.
It's a German needle kit that's specifically made for that. It's a lot easier using the professional equipment, I can tell you. But for some people who don't want to buy that, I tried to I devised my own way of doing it. It's not perfect, I know, but we've had people say that they've been successful with that, Patrick. And that was from Eva Lisa. That was 1 day ago, Patrick. Okay, we got another one here from. Speak of the Get Exposed is her name. I don't think that's her real name, is it, Patrick? And this is from an 18th century English Victorian chair. You know, the ones that disappear when you sit on them with your hoop skirt. She says, "Where can you see the final project? I'm very excited to see what they look like when we recover them." Unfortunately,
that was an
guys,
example of what we were talking about earlier.
You know, because
in and out of the shop.
Because it's a working shop and it's like a construction zone in here sometimes. And, you know, sometimes we can only show bits and pieces. So you'll see on the YouTube, look for the A to Z classes. And I'm sorry to say there was not many of them, Patrick.
Well,
how many?
Chair was one of the first ones done in a while.
That wasn't A to Z. I couldn't show everything on that.
Was.
No, I mean, the front part of it was. But the whole thing, I mean, we did the back. It was just the chair, the body of the chair. We didn't do the cushions or anything like that. A to Z, it means A to Z, right? Even the cushions. But we're going to try to do more of these, right?
Yeah, now that we have a studio, we can do whatever we want.
Unfortunately, we kind of leave people hanging there sometimes with some of the partially done projects. That's why, you know, you need to get good at probably researching the channel, the Broadway Upholstery School channel. By the way, we have a retention rate on there of over 4 minutes average, Patrick. And they tell me that is very good on a YouTube channel.
Yep.
They tell me that is very good. I mean, that's an average. So there's some people in there 20 minutes or a half of an hour or so,
we have
right?
some long videos.
So the next one is from the DIY Upholstery Sofa Part 1 Stripping Fabric. That's the A to Z, right, Patrick? Although we didn't call it A to Z, did we?
I remember we did that big sofa. Remember that sofa?
Yeah, but that sofa, I'm looking at it now, and it says DIY Upholstering the Sofa Part 1. I don't think it said A to Z on the labeling.
No, but that is one of them.
That is an A to Z, although we didn't call it. Wait a minute. I don't think we called it that, but Patrick got a great, the thumbnail here is, he's got it split, the sofa split. So I don't know if you guys can see it.
So, no, that's definitely one of that's one of those reference, I think.
This one. That's
a good series to reference, right?
Yeah, it has tufting on it. It has how to upholster the seat. It has how to finish. It's truly A to Z, and I think a lot of people. Do you know how many people have watched that?
No, but it's doing well.
You know, we used to pay attention. We should do this more to see what the trends are on the YouTube channel, to see what's being seen, what the interest is, and the retention rate. I know. I mean, I haven't checked out the views lately either, Patrick.
Well, there's been no reason to.
Well, the only
we
thing
have to get back on there and post stuff. We're behind.
Right. The only thing I pay attention to right now are the subscriptions. I remember I used to look at I like looking at the statistics of the station.
Yeah, it's still doing well. I'm glad.
It's still
I don't like taking up. I like posting stuff for you guys, so we got to get back.
Yeah. Tony is commenting on the cat fabrics. Where are you located? If you're in New York, I have several projects for you. Sorry, Tony, we're in Boston, and I don't think I'm going to be going to New York.
They can make the drive out of there.
Wouldn't be cost effective, and we were talking about cat fabrics. It was that video, as I recall, Pat, was a little tongue in cheek too, wasn't it? Because I know a little bit about cats, being an upholsterer, and I know that each cat has its own personality. And if a cat wants to destroy your furniture, it will, no matter what. And I think what I was showing is some, practical ways of picking fabric. For instance, cats. I know one thing about a cat. It likes to, guys, we don't like declawed cats. I think you need to keep your claw on the cats. I think there's a big debate on that, right, Michaela? But what's that?
It damages their skeleton.
It does. It damages their skeleton? Yeah. Really? So when the claws come out, Michaela, you can correct me if I'm wrong about this. They like to go into the fabric and then they curl, and it's the movement out that they like, right? That's what they desire. That's what sharpens the claws. Is that right?
So,
And it feels good for them, right? So I think when you're picking a fabric out, a really heavy double rub count and a weave is important, because if they get their claws through easily, your chair's gone. If you have a Haitian cotton, which is a very loosely woven fabric, and the claws get in, they curl the claws and they pull out, and there's all kinds of nice things happening, like strings and yarns and everything else coming with their claws, sharpening them up, right? I think then you're in trouble. So I think what I did on that is just show my own opinion. I think somebody said, Patrick, do you remember what somebody said on that? Patrick's quick on erasing stuff. He shouldn't, because I thought it was funny.
This guy knows nothing about cats.
Somebody said, what is this? No, he said, what does this guy know about cats? And then somebody said, he's an upholsterer. Of course he doesn't know anything about cats. I wasn't.
If anything, you're teaching the cats to do bad behaviors. Like if you're upholster their stuff.
I wasn't claiming to be that cat whisperer guy. Was he a dog whisperer? Whatever he is. But anyhow, I think unless there are other questions, and I don't see too many questions over here, we were just commenting back and forth. I think we had a fun. I think I showed you. There's another project back there. There's 4 chairs. You guys see the floral print back there? I did those chairs 8 years ago, and that's faded already. Prints will fade. I mean, they had no problem with me doing it. It was their own fabric. But guess what, you guys? They got the exact same fabric, and they want me to do them over again 8 years later. Do you believe that? So that's a good example of doing a good job the first time, and you're having your customer come back, right?
That's fine. We can do it every 8 years.
And then if you see all this foam ready to go over here, we got our store up and running where we sell foam cushions. I got some good news. I think the shortage is over, and they're finally catching up with the production on foam until the next thing. So actually, until the next time, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining me.
And next week we will be on Thursday.
Next week we
But
will
we
be
should
Thursday.
be over at the new place.
But we'll be
We're
over.
not set up too well.
Right.
Still kind of, probably with the webcam, I'd say.
All
We'll
right.
be over there.
Well, great. And say goodbye, Patrick and Michaela.
Bye, guys.
Michaela's the quiet one, as you guys know. I'm the big mouth. See you later.